Hello and a very warm welcome from Esher Rugby Club for this very special Rugby for Remembrance fixture as a USA military side take on the might of the British Army. And I'm delighted to say that for this fixture, not only do we have our regular viewers from BFBS Sport, but we're also joined by the Rugby Network as well. So hello to you across the pond. Now, the USA military side have been warming up for tonight's fixture. Busy, hard at work at Sandhurst. Meanwhile, just down the road from there, the British Army have been put through their paces at Minley. Let's hear from both camps now, starting with the Americans.
A very well-coached, well-drilled team. I've faced the Brits a handful of times at Rugby Town on the Sevens field. So know their abilities, know what they're capable of. We've watched some of the film of the Army-Navy game and some of the games they've been able to play, and very physical, very well-coached team. It's going to be a physical game on Friday.
You're all wearing the poppy on your jersey, and that's a special part of it as well. Is that something that resonates with the Americans?
It resonates with me. I know the history. I served in a special operations detachment, so the history of the first special services that came over here, and what the poppy means to the Brits. I mean, on the field, I'm sure we're not going to be friends, but the battles and the teamwork that we've shared on the battlefield, that kind of trumps that. And knowing what the poppy means here, it's still something special to us as well.
What are you expecting from the Americans this time?
Expecting some big humans, a lot of enthusiasm, and I know that they've sort of invested in their rugby program over the last sort of 5-6 years, so probably a better performance from when we last played them, so we're looking forward to it.
Last year you came away with that Inter-Services title. It means that you are the Team of the Year at the Army Sports Awards.
Yeah.
So are you finding any extra pressure on yourselves this year as you start your campaign?
I don't think so. People from the outside will put the pressure on us, but I don't think we're putting it on ourselves. What's really good about this fixture, other than it being the Remembrance fixture, is that we're just getting an extra one in this side of Christmas before our season kicks off in full swing in Jan.
Well, it's not the mildest of autumn evenings, but the players have had a thorough warm-up. What better opportunity then, as the players are out, to head over to our commentators this evening of Simon Hunter and Connor Mitchell.
Thanks, Jules, and a very warm welcome on this chilly November evening to each and every one of you joining us for live coverage of this Remembrance match between the British Army and the US military at Esher Rugby Club. They go head-to-head for the Field Marshal Sir John Dill Shield, a senior British Army officer with service in both the First and Second World Wars. Well, this fixture reflects the military relationship between the UK and the USA. More poignantly, the players, officials, dignitaries and supporters are tonight remembering those who've fallen, given their lives in service of their country. Right now, we have a presentation party meeting the players and officials tonight, made up of the Chief of the General Staff and President of the Army Rugby Union, General Sir Rowley Walker, Chair of the Army Rugby Union, Brigadier James Cook, United States Navy Senior Defence Attaché, Captain Greg Leland, United States Embassy Air and Space Programme Director, Ms. Liz Hammer, and they're accompanied by Brigadier Gary McDade of the Army Rugby Union, Vice Chair of the Army Rugby Union. So we have an act of remembrance. We'll have a minute's silence. We'll have wreaths to be laid by the two captains, the last post to be played, the national anthems as well before this match begins as the dignitaries make their way down the lines, meeting both sets of players. Both teams with a mixture, really, of experience and youth. The US side coming over, spending the week in Sandhurst and saying that they've been enjoying themselves in training, getting accustomed to conditions. Some Sevens players in there as well, so could be in for a bit of flair tonight. I'm delighted to be joined by Lieutenant Connor Mitchell. How are you tonight? Warming up, hopefully?
Yeah, warming up. Yeah, thank you very much for having me. yeah, it should be a cracker. There's a lot of talent on show, and the US side is obviously made up of all of their services, veterans and all. So it could be they're an absolute unknown entity. So it should be quality. Good evening for rugby.
As you say, with that, the dry conditions, a good evening for rugby. Hopefully, plenty of creativity, and we're expecting maybe a bit of flair from the Americans as well. Do you think?
Yeah. I think there will be. They look like a lot of talent. Yeah, so it should be good.
Any international fixture, of course, has that intense and friendly rivalry, and indeed the quality you'd expect to be right up there. But of course, the fact that it's Remembrance as well just adds that extra element to it, and makes it even more special for the players who are pulling on those shirts.
Yeah, correct. The boys will be well aware of the significance of this game, and then obviously at the start with the laying of the reef and the minute silence, it'll definitely show through, and I think it's going to set up for a great evening.
And at this ground, Isha Rugby Club, steeped in rugby history as well. Special also to see that atmosphere building. Plenty of people out tonight hoping to watch a very good game.
Yeah, indeed. Hopefully they're all a bit warmer than I am. I'm going to be at the coffee machine at half time trying to warm up. But yeah, there's a lot of people here, and it should set up again for some good rugby.
Oh, we're just seeing the CGS there walking along the line of Army players, handshakes with Major Stu Cross, the captain, introducing him to each and every one of those guys who've been fortunate to pull on the shirt tonight. Indeed, the tracksuit, keeping themselves warm. And we're seeing lots of comments coming in already. Those of you watching on the Forces News YouTube channel, it's great to have you with us. Good evening also to those on the Rugby Network and those on PFBS Extra. For those serving personnel as well, keep your comments coming in through the evening. We'd love to hear where you're watching from, be it just down the road, be it all around the world as well. It's great to have you with us. And Michael Tetu says, thank you for hosting British Army Rugby family. Dennis Kellen, lovely day for some rugby. Hello everyone from Canada, G. Humphrey says. So great to have you with us so far. And tell your mates, tell family members as well to tune in if they can. We've got plenty of rugby with the Autumn Nations going on this weekend once again. And in the military calendar, it's a busy one too, isn't it, Connor? We had UCAF taking on Germany the other night. UCAF missing some of those Army players who might otherwise be in that starting 15. But indeed, some of those players on the bench tonight, Filiami Kotopalavi, for example. How do you see the side, the forwards and the backs as well, given what's available, given who's free from injury, given who's performing well at the moment? How do you look at that Army side tonight?
So I'm looking at it, and I think the backs looking very, very strong. It's close to the starting lineup. There could be some tweaks, but the forwards.
We're just about to have a minute silence, and the anthems a short time later as well.
They shall grow not old as we that are left grow old. Age shall not weary them, nor the years condemn. At the going down of the sun, and in the morning, we will remember them.
So the players, fresh from their warm-ups, getting ready to take their positions. The last post there performed by Army Bugler Lance Corporal Mike Thomas from the band of Coldstream Guards, positioned in front of the Duke of York's band, led by band director Stephen Sochi. So we're in for an exciting one tonight, folks. And Connor Mitchell beside me. Has you've been looking forward to this one as well? It's a bit of an unknown, you know, in terms of the style from not just the US team, but also how that then matches up against British Army as well, as we look at the teams.
Yeah, there's some talent in that US side. I think it's Cullen, the captain, who's got a cap for the Eagles, and like we said earlier, it's such an unknown entity, so it could make for an absolutely thrilling game. I'm really interested to see just the backs going against each other, and that hurts me saying that as a second row. It does hurt me, but I think the flowing rugby that we should have feasted to tonight, it should be good.
The Americans, as you say, led by John Cullen, USA player, captaining from the second row, and vice captain is Sevens player Cody Melfi at fly half. The British Army, meanwhile, the reigning inter-service champions, having won their thrilling clash in the last play of the game against the Royal Navy at Twickenham in May. Well, they're captained by Stu Cross in the pack. He'll have the experience of Matt Dawson at number 8. Mikey McDonald and Jack Johnson are his halfbacks tonight. And we've got Conor O'Reilly with a bit of pace on the wing as well. That back line looking pretty close to what you've been saying is almost a full-strength Army backline, Conor.
Yeah, correct. They're there or thereabouts. So it'd be nice to see how quick they've had all week to gel. But they all know each other. So I imagine they'll hit the ground running. Just providing they get some good service from the forwards.
Jack Johnson here, Army fly half, getting ready to get the game underway. Isha Rugby Club in Surrey for this Remembrance fixture against the US military side. That's a fairly deep kick-off. Gathered in by Willisoni, the American number 8. As the US players look to gather it. And looking up there for their backs and finding a little bit of space there in midfield. That's a good tackle from Levi Roper. And well taken offload by the left winger Melendez of the USA. And an early chance to look at what the Americans have in their phase play here, just moving through a few phases, getting the ball in those hands. And Cody Melfi testing the aerial skills of Mikey McDonald. Well, we know how good a runner he can be and how dynamic a scrum half Mikey McDonald is, Connor.
Yeah, very scary for a forward in space there, and he had a bit of space, but looks like they've handled him.
And the ball just being spilled there. The ref, I think, saying it's gone backwards, so the Army just looking to gather here. McDonald summoning his forwards. Siladola there just protecting that ball at the back of the ruck.
So, yeah, the shape to kick, giving it to Levi Roper and over towards the fullback and left winger. See what they do with it.
Well, Melfi there sending it down the throat of Solidrao Radianarova and back to Johnson. He's looking up as well. Just a little bit of back and forth so far and testing that touch line, but the ball stays in field.
Yeah, just the two teams testing each other out, getting a feel for it, trying to get into the game, making sure their fullbacks can catch.
Well, they've done okay so far, and Radianarova's kick there bouncing almost favourably for the Army, but kept in field there. And Melendez on the left wing, seeing a bit more action so far.
Yeah, runs into Super Frank Kelly there. He's a big bloke, very big bloke. And he's dislodged the ball as he hit him. So now time for the first scrum. Let's have a look at each other. The practice, have a look at each other.
And we mentioned that game at Twickenham, the Army-Navy clash this year, and Frank Kelly was a very important part, coming on and providing that dynamism in midfield, and ultimately seeing the space for that Coral Valley try at the end as well.
Yeah, absolutely stunning. I was watching from the bench with an ice pack on my knee, and even I got moving then. It was pretty incredible.
Not a man you want to run into, as you say, Frank Kelly, number 12 tonight for the Army.
He's a new father as well, so his little baby boy will be about 6 months old. So he's walking through fatherhood and playing for Army Rugby.
Well, congratulations to the Kelly family there. That's wonderful. As the Army test out a bit of a maul and seeing where they can get to. McDonald comes out with the ball. Oh, and that's a thunderous tackle there from Matty Tonga.
So we just sang his praises, and he gives a nice hospital pass to
that
Levi
curse, and
Roper.
O'Reilly on the left-hand side. What can he do? O'Reilly picks the ball up and scores. The Army with an early try and a fantastic little movement there from Jack Johnson straight through to his man on the left wing. And a lovely bit of footwork there, and gather from O'Reilly as well.
Yeah, really good, really good. So they set the tone now and start building a score, and then allow them to play. They'll play a bit later.
So the Army scoring in the first 5 minutes. Let's go 5-0 up. And let's hope we get plenty more moments like that. G. Humphrey saying it's going to be an awesome game. Well, we hope so. And it started off in pretty exciting fashion, pretty energetic fashion. With Johnson lining up to attempt the conversion and see if he can add those 2 points. But some signs there, Connor, of the way that the Army are likely going to try and test out this US defence.
Yeah, intent from the outset. It was a pretty dominant scrum. So the boys up front have done well there and set that platform. And it was immediate that the Army are here to play, or the British Army are here to play.
And experience in that nucleus. We were talking about Matt Dawson at number 8, McDonald at 9, Johnson at 10. And of course, Frank Kelly, as we've been saying, there at 12. That's formidable in midfield, isn't it?
Yeah, very good. And also got to give a shout out to Sergeant Smith, the number 1, the loose head, who's got, God knows, more caps than I've got fingers and toes.
Well, Johnson does add the 2 points with that conversion, and the Army lead 7-0. And just under 5 minutes played here in Esher. The crowd building nicely. Plenty of fans, family and friends, and also those from the club itself coming down to take a look at this Remembrance fixture. Dawson takes it, and that was a pretty fierce challenge there, but he holds on to the ball. That unmistakable scrum cap of his.
Yeah, indeed, unmistakable rig as well. Yeah, it was a pretty big shot. It was a great kickoff as well, but applying pressure, good chase. They're pretty well disciplined here, the US as well. They're not challenging that ruck and knock that down.
Well, that kick's been partially charged down there. Box kick, but the ball has gone forward, the ref says, and it'll be an Army put into the scrum.
The Army side here are looking to looking to have a dominant scrum, try and get a penalty, and then play the field position. And then a nice little line-out ball and let those backs loose in that outside space.
Well, quite a few of the American players tonight. We were looking at the likes of Koikoi Nelligan playing there as hooker, Army West Point, and Old Glory DC. So quite a few bits of representation from club sides out in the States, as well as George Smith plays for Letchworth Garden City. So it's good to see quite a range of those clubs represented. And as I say, get your comments coming in wherever you're watching us around the world.
It's a great scrum from the Army there, great scrum.
Wheeling round, and Johnson having to take it a little bit behind him. And Kelly looking to moving around, dancing around a little bit, but the ref, I think, will come back for the penalty.
Yeah, a little bit of crossing there in midfield. We've been singing their praises all night. I've been talking them up, and so Frank gives a hospital pass and then crosses with Levi. But I suppose it's just a bit of teething pains. In 15 minutes' time, they'll be in the flow of it, I'm sure.
Well, that US defence up fairly quickly from what we've seen so far as well.
Yeah, they look like they're up for it. They really do. It's quite aggressive, and it was disciplined D off that kickoff, and then obviously the charge down that comes with that. They're here to play, definitely.
Siladola with the ball, the hooker for the men in red tonight. Just drying that ball, making sure it's not too greasy, as the surface is a little underfoot.
First line out, let's have a look at them.
It's been taken in, and McDonald cleaning up a bit there. And McDonald with that blistering pace as well from a standing start. Another penalty there for not releasing, I think.
Yeah, he didn't release the tackler and roll away and allow for a good clear out for Court Booth.
And Johnson looking to get as much yardage on this kick as possible, and now inside the US 22.
About 10 metres out now, they're probably looking at thinking, send the big boys. They've got a dominant scrum, so they'll probably think about the maul here. Looks like they're set up for that, and we'll see if the physicality matches the line speed for the US.
And once again, and it's taken cleanly and developing quickly into a maul there from the Army. And the hooker there, Ladola, looking to see what he can do through the centre. He's just held back by that US defence.
Yeah, looks like it's pulled down illegally. I think.
Yeah, it's another penalty for the Army. They march upfield once again and taken quickly. A little crossfield kick there from McDonald, and can he get there? I think that's a beautiful try.
Incredible.
That's a wonderful score there. Brilliant stuff there. Solidrao Radianarova with the score, racing through and getting those hands down in the end. And a clever bit of rugby there from Mikey McDonald too.
Yeah, that experience showing from Radianarova. He's got caps for Fiji for sevens. He has, so there's a high quality player there, and obviously he's absolutely rapid. That goes with that, and he's managed to get on the end of it. It's good vision. It's a good start for the Army.
Radianarova with that Fijian experience, and of course Mikey McDonald, as we mentioned there, with experience for Germany. So that international level, that nous is clearly showing through.
Yeah, no, I was talking to Drew Davidson, who played UCAF on Wednesday, and he was saying that German side was full of high quality, and you could just tell there was the ins and outs, and the little stuff they're really good at, and obviously Solidrao Radianarova and Mikey bring that to this side.
Johnson looking to once again add the 2 points.
If he's listening as well, we'd love that little shout out that I've given him.
And the kick's good. So the Army lead 14 points to 0 here in Esher against the US military side. And they do pay attention, Connor. You mentioned the shout-outs. They do pay attention.
Okay, we'll see.
Mikey's brother, Cam, who's recovering from an injury he sustained in Texas in August. Should be back in the new year. Also, a UCAF, Army and Germany stalwart.
To a hat-trick try scorer at Twickenham as well, with Army Navy 23, I believe.
That's right, yeah. One he and many others will never forget. A wonderful hat-trick. And the Army come thundering through here with the forwards. McDonald assessing his options, and that's Matt Dawson there. A low centre of gravity. Hard to take down Matt Dawson, especially from that short distance as well.
Yeah, he's a bit of a wrecking ball, but he's a high quality rugby player. Playing his rugby at Cambridge at the minute in the championship.
McDonald put the ball into that night sky. And Logan Legg, the American fullback, returning the favour, which McDonald accepts gladly. And that left boot, a bit of a slip there on that greasy surface, but Melfi does okay. And looking out right for a bit of space.
That shows that intent, though, that they're here to play. They're happy to run and they're happy to test the outside backs and that kick chase.
And looking initially left there, Shane Palmer. But they've gone to midfield. Matty Tonga again. A little offload to Mickey Bressler, a loose head prop. And back out to some of the backs. Oh, and they're chasing that through, and a bit of footwork there, but I was going to say the Army have picked up, but the US are thundering through here. And it's a chase on for Radianarova, who does make it, it looks like. And they've rescued that. A little moment of concern there for the Army, tracking back.
Another sign of that intent, though, and the desire. They are here to play. The little nudge through there is it just shows a little bit of skill, a little bit of happiness. They're looking to play.
Looking to play, and certainly no moments where you can switch off in any match, but particularly against a side with some of that sevens experience and looking to utilise that broken play in the backfield. So one for the back three players and any of those who are tracking back to be aware of.
Jack Johnson here with the goal line dropout, gone long.
Nice take there.
The fly half, Cody Melfi, telling his big number 8 to carry.
It's good defence there from the Army. And Frank Kelly, a big ball runner there. Up in midfield out to JJ, Jack Johnson.
Great feet.
And it's not quite gathered cleanly there. The ref coming back for the penalty, though, for the Army. And, yeah, wonderful bit of footwork once again. But, maybe a chance for both teams to take a bit of a breather and gather their thoughts after a fairly frenetic first 15 minutes.
Yeah, there'll be some of the boys in the pack will be sweating, thanking God for the penalty there.
That does go into touch, just on that 22 line or so.
So it'd be nice to see if the Army can. The lineup's not been smooth. They've been together a week, so it should be close to being there. Let's see if they can start nailing it now.
Yeah, moving further into the season, but with some of these games coming thick and fast, some of the players haven't necessarily been together for that long. So a chance to try some different combinations at times as well.
And yeah, hits him at the top of his jump there. Quality.
That's very good. And Dawson looking to stretch that advantage there. And the Army are piling through. The US defending frantically here, but that's very good tackle.
Yeah, that's a quality tackle there.
Shove them back.
Really helps with getting around the corner and the fold.
Stu Cross, the skipper, with that take. And an advantage being played to the Army. So a free play, if you will. But no,
ball.
the ref calls it. And well, that's a bit of a shame there. Mikey McDonald looking to play quickly and knocks the ball on. So that advantage not quite utilised.
Another curse of the commentator there. But we bigged him up like we did Super Frank.
They're going to be blaming you at the end of all this.
Yeah,
They've got a list of all the things you've been saying tonight.
My bar tab's getting expensive after.
The analyst, instead of looking at the game, will be looking back at all the things you've said and noting them up on the board somewhere. Libby Legg, watching from Virginia. I'm assuming a direct relation to Logan Legg. So good evening, Libby. Or good afternoon, I should say. Great to have you with us. Jordan Rosson says, go USA. And we've got So many of you watching with us tonight, which is great. Keep your comments coming in, and we'll endeavour to give you a shout out if we can.
There's a little shout out there to Epeli Kotobalavi. Let's go, Army.
Yep, Epi watching on. A good guy. Great to have you with us as well. And let's go British Army. So some support there for both sides in the YouTube sense.
Yeah, his brother, I'm sure his brother's on the bench tonight after playing UCAF on Wednesday. So we'll see how he is when he comes on. If he's a bit sore, hopefully he's warmed up properly.
It's a quick enough turnaround, and it's a quick enough move there out of that scrum from the US. And looking to use the footwork to move up the field. And just slowing things down a bit, that Army defence. But Melfi there putting the ball up in the air. And
Great
leg takes it very, very nicely. But that's a ferocious hit there.
Yeah, he's very lucky there. He almost tipped.
Tukadreu on the Army right wing. He read that very well.
Yeah, the USA now trying to string some phases together in midfield, trying to apply some pressure to that British Army defence.
Well, they too will have been summing things up, of course, in this first 15, 20 minutes of the game, and seeing where they can try and penetrate in that red wall of Army defence.
Yeah, definitely. They've just come. They came together. They were stationed at Sandhurst, so they've been training there all week.
And that's just spilled a bit, and Dawson picks up. Advantage Army there, not knock on, and Tukadreu does well, coming back in field a little bit, keeping that ball alive. McDonald.
Ratuka Kedru, he's probably going to rinse me for getting that wrong, I think. But yeah, playing his rugby at Plymouth Albion.
Yeah, strong Plymouth Albion contingent in UK Armed Forces. And Johnson, so whipped out by Roper to Ladola. And Radianarova showing once again what he can do. Bit of gas, bit of wheels. And the US doing well to stop that momentum a little bit. But the Army once again come forward. And Dawson.
Yeah, looking very dangerous is Matt Dawson.
And they move blind now, O'Reilly. And the US have taken that ball back on the right-hand side. Their right-hand side. Down blind.
Kick finds space now. The good kick chase here from the USA Rugby, apply some pressure.
Johnson has a bit of time to look up and assess his options. And chooses to use the footwork. And he does very well there, Jack Johnson. Looking up to his men left of him. Oh, and that's another big hit. I've seen some big tackles so far tonight. But it's not perturbing the guys on the wing trying to find those inches of space. Johnson again. Oh, and that's moving out nicely. And
that's why props don't pass. Big Ash Horner passing to Gareth Smith.
Well, Tukadreu looking to move it up infield. And yeah, that prop link up didn't quite work there.
They practice it. They I imagine it was all the space. He got a bit nervous.
Well, they take great pride in it now. Front rows, you know, gone are the days where you wouldn't expect it at all. But now it's a thing of great joy, getting those offloads in, right around the side of the ruck.
I see them actually. They practice that in training instead of the scrummaging they do.
You're saying they've got competitions, have they, perhaps, for best prop offload?
I prefer not to speak. So if I speak, I'll get in trouble. I'll be clipped around the ear.
You've been digging far enough tonight, I think.
Yeah, definitely.
Laurie Vinkovic watching from Hawaii. Fantastic to have you with us, Laurie.
I wonder what time it is out there.
That's 3 hours behind the West Coast, perhaps. Maybe 10, 11 hours behind us. Whatever time of the day it is, Laurie, hope you're enjoying the game. And the Army moving that maul forward very nicely. The forwards getting in the right positions, and an advantage again being played by the ref.
Peter calling for it on this right-hand wing.
And Johnson looks up with that kick. Will it come through? Tracked by Melendez. But the ref goes back for the penalty.
Melendez has been busy in this left wing.
And for those of you joining us for the first time tonight, Army leading 14 points to 0 against the US military side in this Remembrance fixture, Isha Rugby Club. Great to have you with us. Just over 20 minutes played so far.
So it looks like the Army have opted for a scrum here. So probably looking to release this back line again off a dominant scrum, or maybe the number 8 Matt Dawson, who's been carrying pretty well so far, running at some arms. So we'll see. I imagine they're setting themselves up here for some good attacking play.
So it's been a fairly high-tempo game so far, which is obviously what everyone here would be wanting to see, and enjoying those different styles of rugby, and players representing clubs across the pond and in many different places here as well. Tom B's watching from New Jersey. Good afternoon to you, Tom. The ref just looking to reset that scrum. And important for the players to maintain that discipline, maintain that structure, and not let things get a little messy, especially when it is high tempo and you've probably got a few guys in there blowing quite hard.
Yeah, I'm feeling for the second rows here, their heads are probably swelling and all the pressure. No, speaking from experience here, so they'll be praying that they get the ball out on this one, and then we can get back some rugby.
It's the inside track there from Connor. It's it's certainly no place for the faint-hearted.
Yeah, no, it's cost me a few cauliflower ears over the years.
Trophies, really, right?
Something like that.
And back out to the match here. Johnson back into O'Reilly. And just slipping over that challenge, really, it seems. McDonald looking up again.
Advantage again. I imagine the ref will be thinking about going to his pocket.
Radianarova looking there, but will that be adjudged a deliberate knock on? The ref playing on for the moment.
He's happy to play.
And Dawson, a lovely offload there, Radianarova. Another lovely offload, but not quite gathered in. Arituka Kadreu.
Yeah, very, very dangerous. Matt Dawson's playing pretty well, and he's really good at punching his arms through that contact, and then looking for that little offload on the weak shoulders, and then obviously Radianarova there with some silky skill that scares me as a forward.
Well, speaking of forwards, that US back row will have had their work cut out so far, with McDonald and Dawson both looking to come around the side of those rucks whenever they see any little sliver of space available to them, any little chink of light. And it could have been more so far. And the Army still 2 scores ahead, 2 converted scores. The USA here looking to defend once again close to their line. And that's put over the top, but the ref says it went forward. Forward pass, so it'll be a USA ball, and maybe a little reprieve there for the visitors.
Yeah, the Army here, they're a little bit slicker. They probably could have had 1 or 2 more, but like you said earlier, it's the start of the season. Well, the Army rugby season anyway, and so they're probably just finding their feet, get used to the combinations again.
Quite a few of those Army players tonight with experience for UCAF, the UK Armed Forces. Some of the boys having been out in France last year for the IDRC, International Defence Rugby Championship. And not only that, lots of inter-service experience too on the big stage, the likes of Twickenham and Kingsholm, no less.
Yeah, indeed. I mentioned it earlier, but Gareth Smith on the loose head, he's got a hell of a lot of caps, and as has Stu Cross captaining the side today.
Penalty to the Army again, and the USA just not maintaining that discipline. So Jack Johnson looks up and says we'll go to the corner. Let's attempt another line out here.
Yeah, I'd imagine they're going to try and set up another drive here, assert a bit more dominance in that forward pack. They've got dominance in the scrum, so a little bit of line-up pressure, and then the set piece, and then that should release the back line even further.
Well, we have Andrew Starling. Good evening, Andrew. Good afternoon, I should say, watching from Virginia. And Wilksy 09 watching from a random bus. Well, wherever you're watching from, it's great to have you. I'm not sure if that bus is down the road or maybe in the car park behind us, or if it's indeed in the US as well, I don't know. But welcome to our coverage. And the Army march forward there, and have they got over the line? Yes, the ref puts the arm up. It's another try for the British Army. They extend that lead over the US military side. And that's Ash Horner, I think, there. So the Army pushed that lead up to 19 points, and Jack Johnson will be looking here to add the 2.
Yeah, he's had, this is the third one in the same sort of area, so we'll wait and see. I'm not going to give him the commentator's curse, so we'll wait and see what happens.
Well, Coach Tim Osman, I would say, will have been fairly happy so far, Connor, with proceedings. Looking to see clinical finishing and trying to see those combinations working very well together and being able to read each other well.
Yeah, correct. I think he'll be quite happy so far. I think we'll a little bit frustrated with the accuracy. It's just not quite there yet, but we are only 26 minutes into the Army rugby season, so it will come.
It's another one. Another successful conversion there from Jack Johnson. And 3 converted tries up. The Army find themselves 21 points to 0. And just over 25 minutes played here in Esher. Tony Palmer, dad here, he says, in Connecticut. Number 9, Shane Palmer. Hello to you, Tony. Samantha Cowell watching from Dallas, Texas. Ruben Bramall, let's go boys from Georgia. So great to have all of you across the pond watching on. And that's a little sloppy there from the US military side.
Someone USA in the crowd there. Great. Let's go, boys. There's quite a lot of support here, isn't there, USA?
Yeah, it's great to see. Yeah, here in person as well. Just giving the players that extra lift, isn't it?
Yeah, and I mean, it's nice to hear that voice from home, especially when you're out here, or just away, I suppose. And yeah, definitely a lot of support.
Speaking to some of the coaching staff earlier from the US team, and they've been enjoying themselves this week here in the UK, headed by Alan Clark, former hooker for Ulster in that 1999 European Cup winning side, Alan Clark. And he's been based out in the US for a little while. So great to see that experience there in the coaching staff.
KCS watching from Utah.
We're going to get all the states, I think, in tonight.
Yeah, get it on a tick list.
We don't have a map in front of us to mark them all off, but maybe that's something we should get at halftime.
We'll in the French fixture in March. We'll do it then.
The Army with that ball, and Dawson out to McDonald at first receiver, and Roper looking for the handoff, and well, that's Melendez not worried about putting his body right in front of that charging run there.
Yeah, he's done well, hasn't he? He's just tried to slow him down. I mean, the Levi's currently playing his rugby in Nottingham in the Championship, so he's pretty dialed in at the minute.
And McDonald again to Johnson. Oh, and it's lovely. Kelly looking to offload. But, not quite carrying it on there. The Dola at pace.
Yeah, he's played well so far. The set piece is going well, and then he's been carrying, and there's a little cheeky offload there as well.
Kelly again, and Smith.
Go on, lad, in midfield, go on.
He's trying to play every other position, I think. He's giving him a signal as well. Roper inside.
He'll be at fly half soon.
Taking the next conversion if we get more tries for the Army.
Yeah, nice stringing some phases together there. They'll be a little bit unhappy with the accuracy, but they're getting phases together. They're testing that USA defence and they're moving forward and winning that territorial game.
Well, it's a US line out, and the referee just ensuring that everyone's in the right place and keeping their space as well in between. And Koikoi Nelligan with the throw.
Great name.
Palmer, fantastic. And the back screaming for it out there. The forwards still have it. The US trying to ship this ball as quickly as they can, and Melfi seeing a bit of space, and it looks good from Melfi. That ball did bounce there on its way into touch.
He's managing the game really well there. He's had 2 great kickoffs, and the last one wasn't his fault, but it was right on the 10 metre. He's definitely got a boot on him.
Yeah, showcasing that distance very well there, and precision. What have you made of the Army second row so far tonight with Sean Beaver and Curtis Booth?
Well, there is the international. So Court Beaver, Sean Beaver, has played for Zimbabwe. So there is some talent there, and I know Boothie plays a pretty high standard as well. So they're probably enjoying having the shirt and making a statement, and then trying to cement that, make that theirs.
Johnson dancing feet again, but the US are quick onto that, and the ref says it's gone out and play can continue. The US take the ball.
It's a good clear out there from number 12, Matty Toga, on Mikey O'Donnell. Shows the physicality.
Yeah, not lacking in physicality at all here, the US, and certainly not out on the right-hand side on the wing. Legg doing his best to help the clear out. Palmer with the ball to Bressler. That's a moved out again, and that's a good hit from Frank Kelly. Yeah. That's an important hit.
The number 8, Wilson. I won't try and butcher his last name.
And the US take that little kick through there.
Yeah, the number 8, he's a pretty big boy. You've got to get off the line there, and Frank Kelly's done well.
Sukula Keba, number 8 for the USA today.
Thank you very much. There's a lot of continuity. The 9's picking and going, playing off 9, playing off 10, asking a lot of questions here. Great
play. That's
play.
Lovely through to Legg. How far can he make it towards the try line? And the Army defending in earnest here, and that ball looks as if it's just
knocked it on.
Just knocked on. And the ref awarding the defence the put into the scrum.
Promising signs, though. Promising signs. That attacking play, they've made a lot of ground there. And like I said, a lot of continuity and that intent that was mentioned earlier.
The Army defence is being tested in different ways, isn't it? With some of those chips through, some of the kicks. Also, those offloads are starting to get some together. Greasy sort of night, you know, wet underfoot, but starting to look a bit threatening on the outside.
Yeah, they're definitely settled, and there has been space that they've definitely taken advantage of on the wings, which is natural as the way you defend. But they've settled into this game, and I think they're going to start growing and growing and growing.
Well, we talked about Fasukila Keba at number 8, and watching from Seattle, USA. Shout out to him from junior Rabana Kadavu. So great to have you with us, Junior. That's a US military penalty there in a very promising position for them. What will they do? And looking up the number 8. And Palmer here with the ball, looking to take it quickly. And the ref making sure the Army are in the right place in their defence. And he ships that out to number 8 again. And they're ever so close to that try line.
The US need a bit of patience.
Nelligan.
Oh, that's a great carry. I think he's in.
And he's in there, Nelligan. The US hooker with their first score of the night. They've responded to those early tries from the Army.
And they are pumped, aren't they?
They're excited about that. And rightly they should be. They saw the opportunity, given that penalty close to the line, and they took it.
Yeah, he didn't get off the line. The Army didn't get off the line, and ultimately, he's a pretty big boy, and he's used power, and he's got through. So it was really impressive.
It's number 12, actually, Mati Tonga, who scored that try in close proximity to the line there. So the USA looking more and more threatening, and being able to convert that opportunity this time with the territory they had.
Yeah, exactly. Like I said a second ago, they are growing into the game. It's the first time they've properly strung some phases together, properly tested that British Army defence. And look, and they've got their reward.
And Melfi adds the 2 points, so British Army lead by 21 points to 7. The US with that try just before half-time. Marcus Aurelius saying, give me a shout-out watching on from New York. There must be some age now, Marcus Aurelius, but nevertheless, watching on. So, yeah, great to have you with us as well. And we go back for the restart.
I was surprised it's New York. I thought it'd be somewhere outside of Rome.
Johnson with the restart.
Great take, great tackle. Super Frank Kelly.
Kelly again in there. And he looks for that work, doesn't he? Kelly in defence as well.
Yeah, he's a big frame. He's about 6'4" and 105 kilos for a back. That's pretty impressive.
Oh, well, the USA looking to once again leg here. And just missing the offload to Melendez. But they've gathered that. But the Army have it back. And McDonald with that left boot. Seeing some space in the backfield. And the US look to counter.
Yeah, close to a 50-20. I think that try has woke the Army up a little bit, or the British Army, sorry, because they've probably changed from the game plan of play to actually let's get some points on the board before we actually start playing.
Radiana Rova has it. Oh, a nice little dinky chip over the top, which he takes then, and gathers and moves into some more space before he's eventually taken down.
Classic, I say that, and there's some skill out of nowhere.
Dawson getting more ball going forward. The Army very much on the front foot here and getting the advantage as well. Oh, that's a lovely bit of work there. That's fantastic footwork and straight through for the try. Onisavoro Nyagi, what a wonderful score there.
Yeah, he's a British Army Sevens player, so any sort of space, and he's an absolute man mountain. He's really athletic. So obviously he's found that space and then gone round the fullback. He's had trials with GB Sevens as well, so he's a pretty big unit.
And showing that turn of pace, the open side flanker. Wonderful score. And the Army extending that lead once again just before half-time. A lot of professional matches, we'd expect a bonus point for 4 tries, of course. And a marker, obviously, going into the interval for the Army to look at. Head coach Tim Ousman will be fairly pleased, I imagine, with that.
Yeah, he will. What I'd imagine he's saying is just, we are thereabouts. We are probably the dominant side here, but he's just lacking that accuracy. And well, I suppose they're accurate.
And Jack Johnson adding the 2 points, and Army are 28 points to 7.
Yeah,
good.
They're probably thinking we're 90% of the way there, but there's a couple of passes that aren't sticking, slightly bit of sloppiness, which they'd look to improve.
Yeah, well, the US are marching back up, and that deficit reduction has just been undone, really, with that work from Nyagi. Lovely bit of vision, really.
Yeah. I've seen him do it quite a few times, but just with that turn of place, is really, really impressive.
So the Army have it once again. in these last few seconds of the half. Dawson with the dummy.
I'd love to see his Dawson's carry count and offload count. I imagine it's up there.
It's just such a great option, isn't it, for McDonald and Johnson to have at the back of that scrum and ruck.
Yeah, it just gives you that security. You know full well that he's going to be all over it.
Good take from leg, under a bit of pressure there.
The American back three, they've been tested, but they're doing very well.
Oh, and Kelly rips it there from Nelligan, the American hooker. And that ball's booted into a bit of space. O'Reilly herring down the field after it, but alas, it goes into touch, and the referee looks at his watch. And it's half-time, and scintillating, really. We've had 5 tries. The British Army lead by 28 points to 7, and your summation of what you've seen so far, Conor, I mean, we have seen tries for both sides, as we say, but in terms of the style that we're seeing here, as we said at the beginning, a little bit of an unknown. What have you made of it?
I think we'll start with the Army side. I think they're playing well. I think they'll be happy. They'll be going in there saying we're doing well. We are where we are. We're on top. Let's just press that forward. I'd imagine they'll back their fitness now after 20 minutes, especially with the bench. There's some high quality players on the bench to come on, and then the USA side, I think they're doing well, and especially once they'll be saying, let's just play, let's get the ball, let's play. They played the ball with the ball once, and they scored.
I mean, aside from that try towards the end for the Army there, as you've been mentioning, the US have just been able to start gathering some momentum. They've been looking more and more threatening, being able to understand more the rhythms that the Army defence are kind of promoting, if you like. So definitely some opportunities in for them. And some of their players, you mentioned the back three, the likes of Logan Legg and Melendez in particular. He's been very busy on the left wing. What about some of their pack? We mentioned, of course, our friend at number 8, but there's been quite a bit of work done by that pack.
Yeah, there is. It's a friend at number 8. He's been busy, and he's a bit of a wrecking ball. So I suppose you've got to get off the line early and hit him low. But the second row, the captain John Cullen, I imagine he's marshalling that line out and using his experience, his USA Eagles cap, to I suppose keep the boys' heads up. This game's not over. All they've got to do is string some phases together and start playing, and anything could happen.
Well, you can see some of that Sevens pedigree we were mentioning earlier on in some of that broken play, and it's very dangerous and tricky to defend against as well. As good as that Army defence has been right across the board, they've got that bit of magic, the USA, haven't they?
Yeah, definitely. And there's I think that number 8 is pretty dangerous, and I'm really impressed with Cody Melfi at the minute. He's been kicking quite well. He's been marshalling the game and showing he's a high quality player. Absolutely. So, if you put yourself in the shoes of Tim Osman at half-time, Army head coach, what will you be saying? What will you be looking? Will you be saying to look for more of the same in the second half, or would you be looking to maybe try some different combinations now that there is that healthy lead, and try some different things? I think to be honest, I think I'll wait about 10 more minutes before I start making some changes, try and get another 1 or 2 more on the board and just assert that dominance, and then letting them play. There's Vili Tabu Tamata. He'll come on for his first cap, and he is an athletic monster. I've seen him play for the Royal Engineers, and he's really impressive. Well,
we've had a very busy period coming up in November, and also some games to check out, some highlights. The UK Armed Forces played Germany the other evening in Gloucester, which was another great game. Plenty of tries in that, and plenty of live sport coming up. So for those of you interested in everything else we have going on, not just rugby, but sport as well, other sports, check this out.
That was a tough one for Murray to deal with, wasn't it? I did think he was going to put boot to ball. I thought he had the time to do that. We're not chasing a game. There's nothing that's going to force us to run out of our own 22. So I thought he was going to put boot to ball, and he's put us under pressure here.
Oh, the Germans shifting position very, very quickly there and inching it closer to the line. Have they got there? They have. The Germans with the first try of the evening. And the forwards muscling over the line to put them in front. The back screaming for it out left. And the Germans ever so close to that line now, the Germans. Impressive from the German backs. Leo Wolf just held back there off the line. Oliver Stein. The referee getting a very close look at it there. That ruck forming just over the whitewash. As they go again, Germany. What can they do from here? And he's over for another try. Second of the night for the Germans. We're just over 5 minutes away from half-time, and well, so it's been all Germany in the scoreboard, and looking like it could be very soon yet again. It's another try. Try number 3 for Germany. And UCAF with the rolling maul here, looking to wheel it left and getting ever closer, and it's a try for UCAF. And they're finally in the scoreboard here. Watson. On through the middle goes Manning, and straight through to Rigglesford. Just, can he make the try line? Outstretched, he can. Fantastic try there, responding straight away at the beginning of the second half. Number 9, ready for the box kick, which is charged down, and the Germans herring through. That's going to be a score straight away in response from the Germans. Oliver Stein, second row.
And then now in sort of 50 minutes and on, we've started to see a little bit more adventure, a little bit more willingness to play from the back. They've got the confidence that they can beat us on the edge, and it's just unfortunate for them, lucky for us that they knocked it on.
A penalty taken quickly by Rigglesford. Speaking of alert, he's certainly been. Oh, and Ryan Crowley up the middle. Has he got the gas? Yes, he certainly has. Ryan Crowley through the posts. And a little dive at the end to finish off that move in style. Begs the question, how much have the players got in the tank as they keep going through those starters tonight? And the ball's just chipped through there. Oh, the UCAF players have a bit of race in their hands, but the Germans reckon they've scored, and they have. It's blink and you miss it, Will Reeve. Still held up by that wall. Here it comes. The German defenders pushing them back, but Davis spotting that space out in the right-hand side, and Crowley getting up there, and he scores once again. It's been some night for Ryan Crowley, and a nice little gather in. Another 5 points. The Germans sniffing another try here. The conversion rate's been pretty good tonight.
Looked a little bit like a dummy throw to me.
And that rolling maul's been pretty good. And here they are once again, banging on the door of the Germans. And yet again, they score, Will Reeve.
Is it the commentator's curse? I don't know.
Not from my commentary.
Well, perhaps mine. 3 tries, followed very quickly by conceding 3 tries, is a little bit frustrating, and the boys will know it.
In the final moments of this game. Oh, and they're through again, and they've got men over. And look it through the hands here again, the Germans, and that's a nice bit of handling right out in the left wing. UCAF covering back as hard as they can. Bodies piling over there.
Out there, isn't there? Some
tired bodies in defence, yeah. The Germans once again wanting the final say in this match. It's been their match tonight, and once again they get over the line. And which are good, taking them to 43 points at the final whistle. UCAF scoring quite a few tries in the second half in response, but it hasn't been enough tonight against a very strong German outfit. UCAF 26, Germany 43.
Hi, I'm Kyle Dixon, and this is In Case You Missed It. Forces through in the Women's FA Cup. A number of military stars appeared in the first round of the competition, with the RAF's Pip Wilson scoring a stunning goal as Shrewsbury Town won at Crowd Meadow. The Army's Courtney Jones is through to the second round with Exeter, as is the Navy's Nat Bavister with AFC Portchester. RAF Sergeant Dan McNamara led his Wolves team into the second round, while there was defeat for Air Force striker Lucy Farrow with Doncaster Bells. Royal Navy powerlifter Petty Officer Wesley McGuinness has won gold at the IPF Commonwealth Championships. This was McGuinness's return to this high level of the sport after a serious injury in 2022. The Navy will hope to find their next powerlifting star at the Service Championships in January. The Royal Navy's under-23s football team saw their inter-services preparations halted in defeat to Oxley Jets. Their annual Remembrance fixture ended in a 3-1 defeat for the senior service. The Navy's inter-services defence starts in February. 2 Army hockey stars have been competing in Cape Town at the Masters World Cup. Lieutenant Colonel Nicola George captained England women to the semi-final, where they were beaten by eventual winners Australia. Major James Hudson was in action for the Welsh men's team and grabbed a Man of the Match award on their run to 8th. And former RAF warrant officer Jamie Hillman has given us a behind-the-scenes look at the England rugby changing room. Hillman is now working as kit manager for the national team and showed us what preparation goes into some of the biggest games. He spent 36 years in the Air Force before joining up with England.
A goal from nothing for Libby Dixon.
The Irish have got that equaliser, and look what it means to them. Oh, what a screamer! That is an astonishing goal.
What we are looking to do is to upskill the reservists. We're looking to make them more lethal.
We're in the Balkans, and today these soldiers are patrolling a new strategically significant route which has been opened by NATO.
Our role is to plan a range of contingencies for the government to be able to deliver that in extremis military evacuation.
Personnel have taken over the old disused cookhouse. It's a space they can move into to save lives in conflict.
For trainee technicians, Exercise Volant Warrior is a 5-day test of a year's work.
We're basically the AA of the sky. We put these aircraft back in the sky so the pilots can achieve their sorties.
One military working dog regiment are exposing arms explosive search dogs to the noises of a combat environment.
Derby is the regimental mascot of the Mercian Regiment, and I've got to be honest with you, it's a bit of a challenge at the moment.
A lot of the guys that are lying in the ground here, they've been forgotten, but we know that they're here, and we would just want to come and to honour them.
Plenty of exciting sport coming right up. The Army Sports Awards there on Thursday live on the Forces News YouTube channel. And welcome back to our live coverage here at Isha Rugby Club. The British Army up against the US military side. The Army leading 28 points to 7 after a fairly exciting first half. Plenty of tries in there. 4 for the Army and 1 in response there after about 30 minutes for the US military side. And joined again by Connor Mitchell. Good to have you back. How are you expecting things to be in the second half?
There's a couple of changes you can see for the US side, but I imagine they'll be bringing the heat, I suppose. They've got nothing to lose. They might as well give it absolutely everything. There's a big hug there between number 17 and number 2.
And the support here has been great all night as well for both sets of players. The fans have come to support their side, the US fans as well. And that's great to hear. great to see.
Yeah, there's a lot of them around the ground, just walking around. Then there's a lot of US accents, which is really lovely.
And please do keep your comments coming in on the Forces News YouTube channel. Garrett Newman says, go number 13, Nico Spino, college teammate at Auburn. So we're back underway. And Dawson gathers that restart. And the Army have the ball at the start of this second half of this Remembrance match.
Yeah, looks like Cotto Bilavo, I think he was subbed on at the end of the first half. But yeah, I can see that he's now on for this British Army, number 19.
Cotto Bilavo, who lined out for UCAF the other night, UK Armed Forces against Germany at Kingsholm Stadium in Gloucester.
Yeah, I imagine his legs are screaming at him.
A fairly quick turnaround time there. And Captain Cross with the ball. And the Army committing a few bodies there as well to that challenge. McDonald just reaching for that ball. And Johnson, that's a rocket really to Radianarova at 15. And the ball's been stripped by the US.
It's really good steal there, really good steal. Let's see what they can do with it.
Moving that ball out. Oh, and that's a nice handoff there from Dakota Worth. And the US look to have a change in the halfbacks. Craig Ogden looks as if he's on for number 9, Shane Palmer, a scrum half. And Jack Johnson just speaking to his men outside him. Kelly Radianarova and Conor O'Reilly on the left-hand side.
Yeah, it doesn't look like there's been many changes for that Army side. I think there's maybe 1 or 2. So I imagine they're going to push them hard now for the next 10 minutes, then starts to think about making some changes.
Especially, as you say, in the earlier parts of the season, really. Trying to get minutes into those legs and trying to get those combinations working together more and more.
Yeah, and just get people back, people used to playing services rugby again, and that's standard.
Oh, Johnson over the top for O'Reilly, and he's in the right place here. Oh, he looks inside. Lovely step inside from O'Reilly. Oh, and the ball just goes loose. And that has gone forward, the referee says. And Tonga moving that out. And it's a penalty, in fact, to the US.
High tackle.
And they'll take their time here. Melfi with the ball.
Be interesting to see here if any of the changes for the USA and the changes of the British Army affect the line-out. Being a second row, a bit of a nose on that.
Well, you know your stuff about the line-out anyway, and which positions you want to be in. It's just outside of halfway for the USA.
Yeah, I tried to make myself jump in, but everyone else doesn't like that.
And Nelligan with the throw.
Yeah, it's a really good platform there for the US, and they've got the big number 8 carrying hard.
Willisoni doing his work there. And it's good defence because it's an Army penalty.
Yeah, it's a great chop there from Matt Dawson, his oppo, and that chop then set up, I think it was Onisavara Niyagi, to get over that ball.
Johnson puts that just over the stand here at Esher.
Yeah, making the ball boys work.
Hopefully no cars just behind that stand. But you park there, you know what you're getting in for. And another Army line out here.
So short and line out here. Jack Johnson at 10 has got Big Cotto.
Oh, and that's gone long and has actually gone loose. So Nelligan trying to clean up there for the US. They have the ball and an opportunity to push their way out of that spot they're in.
I think it's advantage USA there, might have creeped offside.
Yeah, ref playing advantage to the visitors, and indeed blows his whistle for the penalty.
So Cody Melfi here, if he knocks this out into midfield, and I think the USA just all they've got to do is string some phases together and test that Army defence, and I think it'll come up with rewards.
Yeah, how many yards can he get on this, Melfi? Well, he does well there.
Yeah, he does very well. He managed to take a few yards as well, like a good fly half from the mark.
So the US with an attacking opportunity here, going deeper into the Army's half. Nelligan again with the throw. That's clean.
That line-out's given them some really good platform. Obviously ran by their captain, Cullen, and the hooker.
Yeah, and Matty Tonga is a popular option in midfield to try and burrow his way through the space. And number 8 again.
He's got a very high tackle count there. Carry count. He's doing pretty well. He's put a work in for his team.
Sukla Keba at 8 for the US military side. Ooh, and that was well met there by Radianarova and O'Reilly as well.
Yeah, speaking of players that playing well, Radianarova's having a good game.
He's been a fairly consistent player, hasn't he, for the Army?
Yeah, I was around when he came in, and yeah, he was very special. He played well. But yeah, he was in the back, so I tended to avoid him, tried to defend in midfield, and let him have the space. This is good D here from British Army.
Ball just knocked forward there, though, so it'll be a US put in.
A couple of the big boys happy with that little break.
There's Madison Hovis watching from Ellsworth Air Force Base in South Dakota. Hello to Madison. Another scrum here with a US put in. And the referee just making sure that both sets of front rowers are setting correctly.
Yeah, the USA Army have seemed to have stabilised that scrum there. They've made that change.
Oh, and that's a lovely move through. Blistering pace there. Can the USA make the line? It's Nico Spino.
Really
and
good try.
And a wonderful try from the outside centre. Visitors in for their second of the night.
Yeah, I think the chat at half-time will be, especially for the USA, was like, let's play. They've not really fired any shots. And look, straight out of the blocks, they are 7 minutes into the second half, and they've drawn first blood.
And that's possibly the way to do it. If you're 21 points down, you're going to play, and you've got to give yourself every opportunity to move on the counter-attack as well if any balls are spilled.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, you're not going to win a game by 21 points down playing conservatively, so they've got to play. And especially players like Nico Spino. Yeah, they've got the talent there to do it.
Nico Spino with footwork just moving inside, and wasn't going to be caught there from that position once he get closer to that whitewash. And Cody Melfi just missing that conversion attempt, so the Army lead the USA side by 28 points to 12.
Imagine the chat under the post then was something close to let's settle, let's start playing in their half and just apply some pressure and wait for them to make mistakes.
Well, Drew Dawson coming on from the bench for the USA, replacing that man who's done a lot of work tonight, Sukla Keba, number 8.
Yeah, he's definitely earned his post-match feed.
Something nice and warm, I imagine.
Let's hope so.
Oh, that's a tricky one to take down there from Jason Towns. Well, there's a big pass out to the left-hand side. And a huge tackle as well. And it's Dakota Worth. Oh, and a wonderful little move here by the US. And the kick comes through. O'Reilly pacing back here and just putting the ball down with that US pressure close to the line. And it's another threat from the US in this last 5 minutes.
Yeah, they've come out of the blocks firing, which is what they've got to do to get themselves back in the game, and fair play to them. The British Army just want to settle here, just play a bit of territory, slow it down, take the sharpness out of this USA attack.
So we've just heard there's been a bit of a shirt change. So George Smith, indeed, on for Vasuka Lekeba for the USA, not Drew Dawson.
It's a great tackle there from the Army's winger. He had a big run up, and there was only one way it was going. He got low, as he should do.
The USA just playing at a slightly higher tempo now, and everyone looking very hungry to fire into that defence.
Yeah, and it's dominant carry after dominant carry here, and what that does, it makes it really hard for the Army to fold round. And then once you make that fold just a little bit longer, a little bit harder, just when it adds that tempo.
Oh, that's fantastic. Ludola again at the bottom of that tackle. He's been great tonight.
Just as I say that, the Army dominant tackle.
And Melfi out. Oh, and that ball spilled. That's a huge hit from O'Reilly.
It's Muratoki.
That area.
Let's just pick that ball up. He's an absolute live wire as well.
And Muratoki, who scored a couple of tries for UCAF against the North of England in June, and was playing for UCAF again the other night against Germany. Muratoki with some serious wheels and some serious boots by the look of it as well.
Yeah, you couldn't wear that in my position. My dad would kill me.
Johnson just putting the ball into touch. And the Army advance forward once again.
That's exactly what they needed, though. They needed a penalty. Just getting a bit of field position, slow this game out, just slow the US military down. And there we are, they empty the bench.
Yeah, quite a bit of change here for the Army pack.
Tichard Jones coming on. That's a lot of experience. He's been around the Army setup for quite some time. So there's, and Sergeant Westwood as well, Westy on number 3.
Gareth Smith and Stu Cross going off, as well as Neagi, try scorer.
Number 17, Nathaniel Tichard Jones. Number 18,
So the Army ringing changes, really. Oh, and that ball's gone long and well read there from the USA, but not straight, I don't think. And going back for the throw. Koikoi Nelligan.
Another great name there from the US side. Check my phone, Drew Davidson. Enjoyed the shout out that I gave him.
So coming off
what I was saying. They listen.
They do, they do.
Number 1, Gareth Smith. Number 6,
some good carries here. Just trying to get in the ascendancy.
More dominant carries from the US. That ball looking back for Melfi. And a big up and under, which hasn't quite gone where he intended. And Dawson, well, that's gone forward from the big number 8. And the ref putting his arm out to signal the mistake. But a penalty, actually, for the US military side. And an opportunity here for the fly half, Melfi, to gain those yards for the men in blue. Another ball over the stand.
It's another broken window.
Just evening it out, both ends of the pitch.
Just no car is safe, no car is safe.
So we go again for another line out.
Yeah, so they've had a really good line out so far. It's really well drilled. And then they've got some good field position. So I imagine they'll get their big forwards running midfield and then try and get up. And another curse of the commentator there. I'm getting pretty good at this, aren't I?
No comment. Oh, and Jason Towns, well, he's going laterally, but he's starting to find a bit of movement.
Yeah, he's broke a lot of tackles there.
Melfi again, putting ball to boot.
Probably wanted a bit more...
no, well, that's well taken by Tonga. He's been busy tonight, especially in the second half.
Yeah, he's really good after the half-time whistle.
Another man who's been busy, Nelligan there.
He's probably one of their key players in the second half, and is probably the reason that they're on top.
And Larry Williams, their replacement for the US, just moving it forward. But the Army have shoved them back here. And an opportunity for a turnover. Yeah, the ref putting his arm out there for a knock forward. And the Army all of a sudden, there's McDonald spotting the space in behind.
That's lovely game management.
And
that's just what you want from an experienced
Muratoki racing down there on the right wing.
I think that's a 50-20 as well.
That'll be an Army throw into the line out. That's a fantastic bit of awareness from Mikey McDonald.
Yeah, lovely, showing that international experience, isn't he?
Aaron Adams, hello to you, Aaron, says yes, Towns. And Jason Towns, who's now on the pitch, outside back replacement for the US. And the US pushing the Army back as best they can here, but that's going through the middle here is Kelly. And that man was up very quickly, but Muratoki, what can he do with those bright boots of his? Out to O'Reilly, and it's just been spilled there. Spilled forward, and a little bit of respite for the US military.
Yeah, the Army won't really be happy there. They've had some great field position. The line-out wasn't spot on, which just put them on the back foot, which just meant the pass was then on the back foot, and everything just wasn't quite right. But you've just made a load of changes, so what do you expect? I think once they settle, about 10, 15 minutes, they should be back to where they were.
So, a scrum for the US, pretty close to their line. But as we've seen, they've been pretty enterprising even in that position so far tonight, and trying to run the ball from quite far back.
Yeah, that USA side, especially the couple of the centres are playing well. They could probably score from anywhere, and as we saw on their second try. The Army were looking to try to hold them in here.
And, well, they go through the hands, and Tonga again. Melendez, it looks like, has had to dive for that ball out on the left. And O'Reilly doing his best to try and strip it. Not so successful.
Yeah, they're looking to play.
Well, delight for all the fans here. And hopefully for those of you watching as well. Plenty of rugby being played in front of us.
Yeah, sometimes you've got to admit defeat there. They were 5 metres out on slow ball. Especially with a boot like Cody Melfi's. And you don't blame them, because it's a great field position here. And with the British Army line-out not necessarily functioning, there's some big boys in that USA side, so they can get up, put pressure on the hooker, anything can happen.
There's been quite a bit of line-out practice of late in the last sort of 10 minutes of this match.
Yeah, it has.
The most recent 10 minutes, that is, of course, not the final 10 minutes.
So George Cohen will win his first cap for the British Army when he comes off the bench after winning the Inter-Services under-23s as the British Army's captain last year, I believe.
Wonderfully proud moment for him.
And his father, who's an ex-officer as well.
Yeah, fantastic moment for the family. And a nice position to come on in, really. The Army 28 points to 12 up, just as we approach the hour mark. So keep your comments coming in. Let us know where you're watching from tonight. And some more replacements there, I think, for the USA as well. We're seeing a chance to get some fresh legs on around the 60-minute mark.
Yeah. His hamstrings tightening up there. I imagine there's a bit of cramp.
So for USA Military, coming off the pitch is number 1, Mickey Bressler. Who's going on? Number 18.
So Mickey Bressler going off, and Brian Bitter taking his place, number 18 for the men in blue.
Sounds like a crowd favourite as well. He's got a big cheer as he come on.
We expect an injection of energy then from him. As some of the support staff just take the water off there, and the players get back to it after those substitutions. Oh, and that's gone long and well gathered actually from the Army.
Yeah, he's done well there. I think the Army really won't be happy about this line-out.
McDonald out to Johnson and Dawson. 3 of them have been very good in tandem tonight.
It's a great tackle there by Drew Dawson.
And that's lovely from Radianarova, seeing a bit of space. And it's just spilled there. That ball gone into touch from the Army, but that ball's gone forward, so it'll be a scrum and a put into the US.
Yeah, a little bit sloppy since the changes have come on. I just think the British Army here need to just settle a little bit, try and string some phases together. I can't count over one hand really how many times this second half that they've gone more than 3 or 4 phases and started to really test that US defence.
Well, we've seen Radianarova go from 15 into outside centre. Muratoki in the backfield now. So a bit of a positional change for the Army. Oh, lots of pressure there from the Army. The ball's just a little bit behind Melfi, more so than he would like, and Towns, that ball up in the air, but Melendez can't quite get there. And the ball beats him to the advertising boards.
Yeah, it just shows you though, if you had a look at that, the importance of just having that pass right in front of you. It just checks him a little bit, and then that just allows the Army defence just to gain that extra couple of metres on top of you and just apply that more pressure. And that's the kind of accuracy that I'm talking about.
So another line out, and McDonald gathers. Johnson, that's a little bit behind Kelly, that pass. But Radianarova there, who's been proving hard to take down for that US defence.
Yeah, just needs to settle, string some phases together.
O'Reilly was a little bit in front of that pass that Muratoki took. There's a penalty there for not rolling away, I think. Penalty for the British Army.
So if I was them, I'd probably tap here. The line-out's not necessarily functioning that well. They just had to go from the front, which then adds pressure to Mikey McDonald's pass. Well, it looks like they're doing it. Let's go.
The players, oh, they are going for the corner. Johnson puts it down there.
But I suppose that right now you're thinking is if you're USA Army, you know that they're not going to hit the back because they can't really hit the back. They're probably going to hit the front. So you're looking at a drive defence. Stack the front, and if they've got the metal to go to the back, then fair play. But stack the front of that line out and then hit it into touch.
Well, another opportunity here for the Army to improve that line out a little bit from the last 10-15 minutes. And well, it's taken in, as you say, Connor. And Dawson off the back, and Ladola on the left wing. Can he get there? He's just been bundled into touch.
Flag's gone up. Maybe dreaming about that.
A nice move blind, but not to be in the end.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see here if they start playing. So they played when they had a scrum in the same area. They decided to play. So we'll see what they do. Personally, I'd drive and kick it, but I'm a little piggy forward, aren't I?
You have your preferences, I think it would be fair to say.
The more scrums.
Oh, and slip there.
Oh, it's very dangerous, that.
Yeah, it has been a bit slippy tonight. It hasn't stopped these teams from playing lots of open rugby.
That is incredible.
McDonald, that's wonderful work there. Once again.
It's also a great kick under the pressure from an offload that he's behind his own line there and he's nudged it that far, and then Mikey McDonald, quality rugby.
And Johnson just seeing off the defenders. And it's very intelligent rugby there once again from McDonald.
Just string some phases together here, hold on to the ball. Any of those 50-50 offloads, just don't throw.
Kelly taken down by 2 men there in the end. On it's out to Radianarova. And a pass off to Rutukadreu, and that's a wonderful score. Another for the Army on this night of tries, and they extend their lead yet further.
Yeah, really, really high quality there. Some great, great offload. Just as I said, no offloads there. What he throws an absolute blinder. So, yeah, the backs are looking very, very good.
Yeah, it's a nice bit of handling too. And the ball has been a tad slippy tonight.
So it's a kick from the other side here. This will test JJ's boot. He's 100% so far. I think the Army will be happy with that as well, just to get another score on the board, just reassert that dominance. The USA have had their purple patch.
Had that extra bit of comfort, I guess, that cushion to the score, as you say, and they're now up by 33 points to 12, with Johnson looking to add the 2 points from a very challenging position on the right wing.
License to play now as well. There's 20. Well, there's a fair few points in the gap now. So let the likes of Muratoki, Radianarova start playing.
Johnson lining this one up on the very edge of the pitch. And just pushes it wide. But a very challenging attempt there. No extras added. And the Army lead the USA military team by 33 points to 12.
There's another curse of the commentator. My bar tab's getting pretty big.
Are the coaches asking you to, or will they be asking you soon, to just say the opposite of what they want? And then hopefully they will get what they want, because at the moment there's a bit of a mix.
I need to start jinxing the USA side, don't I?
I think it's been working both ways tonight, to be honest.
I'm not going to have very, very many friends when I walk into the clubhouse.
You'll be asking to do more broadcasting, I think. And Nelligan there, the hooker. He's been very hungry all night with ball in hand as well.
Yeah, he's carried pretty well.
Ball goes out. And staunch defence from the British Army. Just slowing that ball down a bit.
Yeah, I think just get off the line here, make your tackles, leave it alone, and eventually, if they keep getting those dominant tackles, I think the USA side might make a mistake. But again, if they don't, then they're more than likely going to score, because they once they string phases together, they're pretty dangerous.
Well, so far, the USA military side still have the ball, but they've spilled it forward, and that'll be a put into the Army.
Yeah, the scrums, there was that early dominance there from the British Army, but it looks like it's evened out a little bit, which is good. It means means a solid platform for each side.
Yeah, and those new members of the pack, or certainly replacements to the pack, be interesting to see how they influence this last 10 to 12 minutes. Just over 68 minutes played in this match.
Looks like Mikey McDonald's gone off, and Ethan Riley is now on. We played UCAF on Wednesday as well.
Yep, Ethan Riley, number 22, replacement scrum half for the British Army, with his first put in here.
Nice and straight, no pressure.
Here goes Riley. Oh, and it hasn't made it easy for him, and the USA have done very well there.
Yeah,
earning the penalty.
Big cheer. So that scrum's gone the other way, and I mean, this is in front of the post here, but if I was them, they've got a pretty dominant line out. I think that's what we're going to do. They're going to go for the corner.
And Melfi shaping up that way, and indeed looks to put that ball into the corner, which he does.
About 10 metres out now. Looking for a good catch and drive, or try and release one of those centres that have been playing so well. Luckily that ball was in the stands there, didn't go over, all the cars were safe.
And number 15, Logan Legg, looking for a bit of work out here, just prowling that touch line as he watches on, sees what his forwards can get up to.
Replacement for USA military coming off the pitch, number 5.
Doesn't look like drive is set, but they've got the ball here.
Yeah, an opportunity here. And Tonga again.
Looks like Ranger George Cohen is on for his first cap. He's a pretty young boy, 23.
Big moment for him.
Yeah, very well done. Throwing himself around there as well, you've got to love it.
Oh, and they've stretched yet further, the USA. Can they add that third try of their night?
It's pretty impressive. That's a good flat ball, good carry. That's exactly what you need.
Oh, and that's a bit loose, but nevertheless, it's still a ball going forward. And they're just inches away now.
Advantage as well. A little nudge from Dorse.
not quite a clearing kick in the end. But the USA have it again. And Nelligan through the middle. Has he got there?
I think he has.
The referee just taking a closer look. And it's been held up. It's, well, seemingly good defence there from British Army as we just watched those bodies come up from the line. And a missed opportunity, you have to think, for Nelligan and his men.
Yeah, go long here. Try and get out, get a good kick chase. Just under a bit of pressure at the minute, the British Army.
Tynes in the scrum cap, tracking back for that, and
great tackle.
He's put the gas and a wonderful crunching tackle from Matt Dawson.
It's exactly what they needed.
Oh, and that's a little bit scrappy there. O'Reilly's onto it, but the USA have it, and the referee, I think, judging him to be offside. The Army. The ball goes high up in the air, and Johnson gathers comfortably.
It's a good take over his shoulder there.
Oh, that's a long kick, but just up to his opposite number, Melfi.
He found space. It was a really good kick, but the bounce just nudged straight into the air for Cody Melfi to gather.
And McDonald now in his change of position, and that's an interesting little dunce down on the left-hand side, but to no real avail. And the USA have the chance to clear, but that's been sliced somewhat.
There's only one thing he's going to do here.
Oh, and he just goes straight. Yes, I think the US defence was anticipating that from the moment he took the ball there.
Yeah, there was
Pise Diusu, yeah.
One-handed ball under the arm. There's only one way he was going. Fullback was calling for it as well, but there's no chance.
The moments perhaps where you look at the guy on your left or the guy on your right and think, are you taking this one? Or
yeah, your man, your man, your man. It's like another USA player down there.
Well, the player's just having a bit of a breather, a bit of medical attention as well for one of the US players. And a chance for both sides to think about what they'll do with the remaining minutes in this game, just under 10 minutes to go.
There will be a replacement as number 18, Brian Bitter, is down on the ground at the moment. He will be replaced by number 3.
We'll just have a look at that last try as well. We've seen plenty of them this evening, and especially from the British Army side of things. 5 tries, 4 of them converted.
Against our visitors from Bristol. And we wish every luck to the USA military as you go on, I believe, to play
And the USA just
so good luck with that. They won't be as difficult
perilously close there to conceding again, and actually close to scoring, but they missed that. So we're just looking back at this try.
Lovely offload, time to perfection there.
On the right wing, and a lovely little dive over the line as well.
It's a real shame, actually, that he's going off. I haven't got his name, but he was really, really good.
Brian Bitter, number 18 for the US.
Yeah, he did really, really well. He's the one that turned that scrum, and he won that scrum penalty.
And this game's been played in the right spirit as well. We mentioned the fact that these two sides will obviously be playing plenty of intense and physical rugby, but the players themselves and the people who've come here to support too, just acknowledging his efforts, and good to hear that applause.
Yeah, lovely, absolutely lovely.
Another scrum, and Ethan Riley with the put in now. Oh, the US have done very well there.
Yeah, unsure what that's for, but there's a prop on the floor on the British Army side. I think he can get some field position here, use that line out that's been dominant.
And Melfi extending that as much as possible, but Johnson takes it as opposite number. McDonald with his left boot, looking to send it back down from where it came. And Melfi this time with his other boot. Into the backfield. And Johnson anticipating that very nicely. Yeah, a bit of back and forth here between the fly halves.
It's a great touch there.
A loose pass there, but Leg does well. He sees Kelly straight ahead of him. Not a sight most people want to see in a rugby pitch.
Yeah, drags people to the gates of hell.
Well, on that occasion, he drove him to the ground, and the US have recycled the ball and continue through the phases here, looking to play from inside their own half at the moment. Well, that ball looks a little flat, but Melendez there can't quite gather, and that's gone forward. Well, Johnson's been tested, I guess, his aerial gathering skills as well in every conceivable part of the pitch now.
Yeah, that was the one that he took over his shoulder a second ago. But I think he's just showing some high quality like fly half skills in general. He's sitting in the backfield, controlling the game. What ball's given to him from the line out is then he's given to throwing it out of the back, hitting his forwards in midfield. A lot of variety, keeping the USA defence guessing.
And the Army with the ball again. And Dawson up the middle.
Yeah, one thing is happening there.
And Riley, the ball's just taken away from him, but they earned the penalty.
Yeah, he couldn't help himself, went straight off his feet there. He saw there was a clear out.
Takes it quickly. And Frank Kelly. Lovely little short pass to his men there, but the US come away with the ball again, and as has been the case in a lot of the past few minutes of the game, it's rugby being played in the US half.
It's a great rip from Matt Dawson there.
He has been relentless, Dawson, in attack and defence tonight.
He's done very well.
Oh, and that's wonderful again. And Muratoki, well, we mentioned his pace, we mentioned his footwork, and now he's on the scoreboard on that right-hand side. A nice little move, and the Army coming away with the try.
He's probably trying to pretend he's not winded after that splash there as well.
It's always the danger of a splash, isn't it?
Yeah, it's easy, that's why I slide.
Think back to days of the likes of Chris Ashton, the Ash Splash, and others who've tried to gracefully or otherwise, depending on the player.
You always run the risk of the old Freddie Burns drop as well. So,
absolute nightmare for any player.
Luckily, I've never been there.
You just slide in instead.
Yeah, from 50, 60 meters out.
It's your speciality, I think. But lovely there, as we see in the replay again, Muratoki, and clinical finisher. We know what he's capable of. Just reminding everyone here what he can do.
So Matt Dawson is the new captain, and definitely playing well, having a captain's performance.
Yeah, very good head on his shoulders. And Johnson, will he add the 2 points this time? And the kick is good. So the Army extend their lead yet again, up to 40 points now, leading by 40 points to 12 against the US military.
Makes amends for the one that he missed in roughly the same position. He's played really well tonight.
He's been impressive.
I think he's playing, correct me if I'm wrong, playing his rugby at Bury St Edmunds at the minute.
And the US here with the restart. What can they get here in the last couple of minutes of the game?
That's a really impressive kickoff there and a great chase. And they've paid dividends, they've got the ball.
They've looked to be creative, haven't they, with the kickoffs? They've looked to actually attack the line and follow up.
And yeah, there's nothing worse than if you've got a good 10 who can let that ball hang in the air and you're waiting at it and know full well you've got a big chase coming, about to tickle your ribs.
Clearly part of the game plan.
They've not stopped coming in the US, it's really impressive.
Looked to play the entire way through. We've seen some glimpses of brilliance and passages of brilliance from the US.
Yeah, they're really showing that intent, even in these late stages that we spoke about earlier.
Tonga again, making more ground for his men. It's Dan Gabrielli, the imposing Dan Gabrielli there. Oh, that's lovely from Melfi. Will he take it through?
Lovely.
He's just chipped it over the top here, Melfi. Can he gather in time and score? A wonderful, lovely, brilliant try from Cody Melfi, the US fly half. And lovely for his efforts tonight.
Yeah, he's played really well throughout. He's kicked well, he's managed the game well. And when they've looked to go, he's been at the heart of that. So it's only just that he gets a try and some dividends for his hard work.
Well, they say about the bounce of the ball, but he's earned the right to score that, really, with the way he's been playing and the way he's been trying to be quite innovative with his different options tonight from first receiver.
Yeah, indeed. See if he can get the conversion here.
Well, he's just pushed it wide, but nevertheless, the USA up to 17 points. Army 40, US 17 here in Isha Rugby Club with just a few minutes to go here in this Remembrance match. And speaking of fly halves letting the ball hang, we've got Johnson again for the restart. What can he do with this one?
Yeah, I was wondering if he's going to go long, but I mean, there's only a couple of minutes left. So we go short and then try and play, which is what they've done.
Kelly's earned that back for the men in red. And Riley stretching in there. Oh, Dawson again. That's
great.
A lovely bundling run there from Dawson.
Yeah, the centre just jumped out the line and he's gone straight through that dog leg.
But the USA doing their best to get that ball back. Oh, but it's fallen into the hands of Radiana Rova. In the number 15 shirt. Jusu there. Army replacement. And good defence from the US military side. And they take it quickly.
Juri, let's play.
And driven back. Very good from the Army. Cody Melfi. Right into the path of Mikey McDonald. And Jack Johnson screaming at him there for the ball.
Great touch.
Who gets it. A lovely bit of footwork as well.
And a change following that last conversion for...
But the US, well, the ball's gone loose and the US now have the ball. But it's gone forward. Squandered that opportunity, rather. And O'Reilly using his power there. He's spoken of his pace, but also that strength.
That's a pretty big carry there. You don't want to be in front of that.
More dominant tackles here. Oh, and Johnson spots a bit of space and looks to hand off to Dawson.
Yeah, that was off the US Army. That was off Cody Melfi there.
Ref says that's okay. And Muratoki here. Look for his man on the outside, Mikey McDonald, who slips in the turf. Oh, he's moving back inside.
Sent him for a hot dog.
And the new skipper goes again. And Riley, what can he do with ball in hand in the last minute or two? Oh, that's lovely. Very good.
That's someone, Sergeant Westwood, you do not want to be when he's in full flare.
Oh, and Johnson sees the space outright. And will that be a deliberate knock-on? The ref's, I think, giving a penalty try here.
Oh, he is.
Deliberate knock-on there from... and that's the way the game has ended here at Isha Rugby Club. And the Army have won convincingly here tonight. 47 points to the USA Military's 17. A very impressive display of tries right across the board, across that starting 15, and the replacements doing their bit too. What have you thought of it?
Yeah, thought it was really good. I think there's a lot of positives. There's always that intent with the Army side. They love to play, love to throw those offloads. I think Tim Osman a little bit unhappy with the accuracy. Probably not there, but it's the start of the season. It's all about building that squad, and you don't want to peak in November. You want to peak at Twickenham against the Navy and then against the RAF as well. So building, it's all about building.
If you have anything you want to improve in terms of accuracy, in terms of clinical finishing and so on, you'd rather do it when you're 47 points to 17 winners, of course.
Yeah, exactly. You're happy to try stuff and try those offloads when it scores like this.
Well, we spoke earlier, Conor, of the blend of youth and experience. Which of the, so to speak, I guess, lesser known to some of the viewers, Army players have you been impressed with tonight?
Just having a look at the team sheet now. I think I see. I'm a bit biased here. I scrummaged behind Ash Horner, and I know how much he works. He graphs, and so we're close, I suppose. So I've got to give him a little shout out. I think the back line and whole played really well. I think on JJ and Dorse, I know they're pretty well cemented, and they've played in the Army side a lot. They've had really stunning games, and I think they'd be really happy with that.
And that leadership, that nucleus of that team, as you allude to there, Matt Dawson, Mikey McDonald, Jack Johnson, but also Stu Cross, of course, who's skippering the side tonight. Very, very well led tonight.
Yeah. Stu led the boys pretty well, and I think there's a marked difference in the line out until they settled themselves after he went off, and I think he's a great asset there. And then obviously Dawes took the mantle of captain and put in a great performance. I think also you have a shout out to Frank Kelly as well. It's another big game in the centre. It's always someone you want to not be running a hard line against because he'll fold you like linen.
Well, the British Army will shortly be awarded and presented with the Field Marshal Sir John Dill Shield. He served in both the First and Second World War in the British military. And just a reminder of the potency, really, of the men in the red shirts.
Yeah, indeed.
It's been a good year.
I think the USA Army can be really proud of that performance as well. I mean, I'm not sure how long they've been together, but they come across from all different types of their militaries. A couple of guys from the Coast Guard, a couple of guys Army, I think there may be Marines as well. So they've obviously not been together for long as a side, and they've scored 3 pretty good tries. So I think you'll be happy with that.
And some guys, just to point out in that side, across the board, impressive performances there from the US military. Koi Nelligan, the hooker. You've got Cody Melfi, we've spoken of him and his lovely try towards the end as well. Mikey Melendez in the left wing. Logan Legg, busy as well. Vasuka Lakeba at number 8 was imposing.
Yeah, definitely one of those that you hope someone else is tackling.
The presentation's just about to begin here at Isha Rugby Club. And a game played in great spirit, Conor. These players who've come across here from the US, who've gone to a lot of effort. They've taken time off work, a lot of them, to come over. A real mix of veterans and serving personnel and reservists as well. And they've come here to take on a pretty strong Army side. And both sets of players full of respect for each other and what they've brought tonight.
Yeah, definitely. They've been really good to each other all night. There's not been any agginess, any handbags at all, which is always nice to see. It's nice to see a game with play for Remembrance, playing the right spirit, and I think all the players knew that, and they've been proud of themselves.
And both sets of players and coaching staffs will be marking Remembrance as well this week, and a fitting fixture tonight with a weekend of commemorative events coming up in the UK. And nice to see there the players putting their arms around each other and just acknowledging what they've been up against, a bruising 80 minutes really playing against each other.
Yeah, no, I do feel for a couple of the UCAF boys after playing on Wednesday, especially Cotablavo playing Wednesday and then playing over half here. Be pretty sore tomorrow.
It's been nice as well, you know, for the British Army boys and the US military boys as well to have such dignitaries in place as well, and to be impressing those members of both militaries. I think the officials have done their part tonight as well. The ref has done well to maintain that discipline on both sides.
Yeah, definitely. He's had a pretty good game. I think he's been pretty fair across the board. He's probably right to penalise the USA a lot in that first 20 minutes, but as they settled into the game, it was pretty close. And I think he's had a good game.
We're just awaiting the presentation of the shield for Stu Cross, captain of the British Army, for their resounding 47-17 victory tonight. I'm just seeing the officials there. General Sir Rolly Walker, Chief of the General Staff.
Making sure none of them fluff their lines in front of the big man.
President, of course, of the Army Rugby Union. And tonight we also have the Chair of the Army Rugby Union, Brigadier James Cook. And they raise the shield aloft. And the Army players, led by Stu Cross, plenty of captaincy experience, and another impressive night for them. Another one for the memory books.
Yeah, definitely. I think they'll be very happy with that. Like I said earlier, a couple of things to work on, but it's the start of the season. They'll be proud of that performance, and then build on into next year.
I think one of the impressive things from the British Army side tonight has been that intensity right across the board. Everyone looking for work, no matter where they are in the field. You know, the wingers coming in field as well, and just seeing, you know, the impact that those players on the bench have as well. That'll be reassuring to the coaches, and also remind the players that you know, they have to keep that level up higher. They've got boys going to take the shirts.
Definitely. I know it's very cliche, but with that Army squad, it's so competitive. But there are shirts up for grabs.
A little bit of a walk and talk.
And looking very strong, head of inter-services, and Jules Evans, our colleague, has Captain Stu Cross down with him.
Well, I'm delighted to say, as we make our way over for a big group photo, that I've got the winning skipper, Stu Cross. Look, that was a bit closer than you thought, or you knew coming into this fixture that the Americans were going to pose that big physical test?
No, definitely the latter. Like, we didn't expect to run away with it. We thought as the game went on we might get a bit of ascendancy, and they did exactly what you said, a big physical test, and kept in it. It was class.
For you yourself as skipper, leading this group of players in this fixture at this time of year, I imagine it's something very special.
Yeah, super special. Just sort of time to remember, pride in service and role, and sort of thinking about others. I suppose one I didn't say the other day is it's Movember. You know, a lot of service men and women take their life, so that's why I've got an awful facial hair on my face.
Well, look, you want to get that nice and primed because you've got your photo now. Congratulations and well done.
Lovely there, Stu Cross, just acknowledging the work rate of his men and their achievement tonight. And both players lining up at the posts together for a couple of photographs to mark the occasion, this remembrance match here at Esher.
Yeah, he's sporting a great tash too for November. I'm sure there'll be many people that you know to donate as well.
And a nice thing for the American side to go back with as well, these photographs. I'm sure the start of some friendships as well, you'd imagine.
Yeah, definitely. And I imagine there'll be some sort of return fixture. I'm sure the British Army guys will definitely want to go over there. And I think it might be actually in inter-services. But yeah, to go over there, and I think it'd be a great opportunity to experience rugby over the pond.
Well, Julian Evans has the American skipper with him, John Cullen.
John Cullen, congratulations, a fantastic performance. Remembering and bearing in mind that you are a scratch team, you only got together at the weekend, first training session on Tuesday, I imagine, and to put that performance against the British Inter-Services champions, you must be pretty impressed with your group of players.
Yeah, I mean, to come together 3 days ago and have 3 training sessions together to be able to put a performance like that together, Very proud of the boys. I mean, we knew the kind of competition we were going against. We knew the level that these guys were capable of playing at. But there's some moments in there that we're pretty proud of.
You're all fantastic athletes. I was particularly impressed with Cody Melfi's try towards the end, where not only did he use his rugby skills, but his soccer skills as well.
Yeah, that's well outside my wheelhouse. So anytime I see a ball touch a foot, I just sit back and hope for the best, and Cody took care of business.
We spoke in the week about wearing the poppy, and that's something that you've been doing as well. Look, going into this period of remembrance that we are, I know on Sunday you're doing something very special as well.
Yeah, we have a remembrance ceremony that we'll be attending. We haven't been given all the details, but we're looking forward to sharing that with the British Army as well, and then being able to be a part of it.
No tour photo is complete without their captain. They need you. We've got incoming coming over here. You need to go and have your picture taken. Thank you for talking to us. Well done.
Lovely there from the US military skipper John Cullen. Just speaking of how his players will be marking Remembrance this weekend, as of course will the British Army. And Connor, just in summation at the end, obviously it must make you very excited to be part of the setup.
Yeah. I think it was really classy from the USA skipper. That's really classy from the team as well. But yeah, being part of the team and that squad is pretty good. It's pretty magical actually. It's mental that you get paid to do it. And then be part of something that is like culminates in inter-services. That I think there was last year was tuning in, was about 150,000 people on the live stream, wasn't there? And then the 46 that were there at Twickenham, and then going to Kingsholm as well. Yeah, it's pretty stunning. And then I think these opportunities as well, you don't really get anywhere else, playing a different military on these kind of nights. And then, yeah, it's just one of a kind, really.
Well, you mentioned opportunities. Plenty of live sport coming up here with BFBS Sport, Forces News YouTube channel. You mentioned those inter-services matches coming up. Plenty of mouth-watering entertainment there. And, of course, everything we have before that, you can go to our website, forcesnews.com, to check out how you can see. And for those of you viewing tonight all around the world, for those of you across the pond, those here, those in Europe, those elsewhere, it's been brilliant having you with us, and we thank you very much for tuning in. And until the next time, it's goodbye from us. And Connor, great having you with us as well. A real privilege, and all the very best.
Honestly, my pleasure having the microphone.
But for now, it's goodbye.